Okay, here we are on a Monday afternoon in the backyard. So what we're going to do today is I got two helpers. I got Lincoln and I got Bugsy. And Bugsy's regularly known as Cameron, and Lincoln is sometimes known as Levi, and sometimes Hey You or other names like that. But mostly the times he goes by Lincoln. But he'll respond to any name that you give him. So today, what's going to happen is Lincoln's going to give us a little demonstration on how to put the wire feed into a wire line hedge trimmer. And so here we go. With the assistance, he's going to just stay right where he is, and his assistant is going to be grabbing the weed trimmer by the handle and carefully carrying it over and setting it towards him. So he's going to get a hold of it and tell us what the first thing you're going to have to do is, Lincoln.
You see this part right here?
Yes, sir.
Then that's the twist it.
Okay, just the tip part of it. Just loosen that up off of there, it looks like.
Loosen it up.
Okay. Does it turn really hard?
No, not really.
Okay, so now why don't you take assistant, take that and set it down on the ground for a little bit. Take it by the handle and take it by the other handle and just set it down on the ground for this way, facing this way. Yeah, whatever you want to do. Meanwhile, back here, this is what my assistant thinks is the ground. This is the ground down here, ladies and gentlemen. So that's all right. This is what we call a green thumb right here. See that? He's got green thumbs. That's why we call him a green thumb, because he's new to the area. Okay, so what do you got going on here?
A wire, got the
Okay.
spring, got the cap.
Okay, I'll take the cap for you. And now what are you going to do next?
This wire,
Okay.
plain useless.
No good.
Okay.
Okay. So what do? Just kind of pull it out?
Alright.
Okay.
I got this.
Okay. That happens. Now we're going to take this because like you said, it's pretty much useless at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So now what do you have? What is that called? Does it have a name for it on the container?
It's a multi-edge trimmer line.
Okay. So multi what?
Multi-edge trimmer line.
Okay, we're not endorsing it. It's just one of the products that we use. You can get these kinds of different kinds that are back on the table, for example. This is another kind that you can get. So there's all different kinds that you can get in different types of gauge, right, guys? Mm-hmm. Okay, so go ahead. What's the next thing? Do you need help with that? Okay, go ahead. What are you doing?
Pulling it out.
Oh, it just comes right out of the hole?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so how far are you going to go? How far do you know what to go?
6 feet?
6 feet or better? That's pretty close. Okay, why don't we just start there? And then what do you want to do? How do you cut it?
This.
What is that?
Trimmer?
Oh, you use a trimmer? Where can you get a trimmer from?
Anywhere.
Anywhere? Okay. Okay. Pass that on, put it on the table. So one of the things I know that you want to do is you always want to make sure where these trimmer lines are. Okay, so he's going to take one end and line it up with the other, right? Okay. And then what are you going to do? Okay. And
To the end.
where's his assistant to help him out? Okay, assistant, he needs a trimmer. So at this point, pass it over. Once again, he's wearing gloves, and he always puts the safety back on when he's done using the trimmer. Gets in there nice and close. Sorry if there's any wind, okay? Now he locks it back up, and he places out of reach of small children and dogs and cats. So now he goes to this part. I think what we learned is that we might want to bend those ends, and this is a little bit of a tricky part, but let's get a little bit closer view on that, what you're doing. Tell us what you're doing.
I'm bending this to a 90-degree angle,
Okay, and the reason for that?
so it fits in better to the slots.
Okay, for when you coil it?
I coil it.
Okay, did you decide if you're going to coil it with individually, or are you going to do a dual coil wrap?
Two coil wrap.
Okay.
Two.
Is there anything particular that we have to learn about this part?
Just put it in.
Okay, just put it in, but how would it put it in where? Is there something you could show us?
See those two holes?
Yes, perfect. We see them perfect right here, yep. Okay, that's where we're going to put it. And then what? Okay. Is this a good time to take your gloves off, or you think you'll be able to get it with your gloves on?
I think I'll be good with my gloves on.
Okay. Sometimes you have to.
Keep it tight.
Sometimes you have to watch the concentration that happens in a fella's eyes. Now this part can consume a lot of time. The camera just shook because it does it. I would try a single wrap. And more than likely I would take my gloves off. Are you wrapping in the right direction now? Is there an arrow or something? How do you know what the right direction is?
Right there. You may not see it, but right there it says.
What's it say? Rewind?
Yeah, rewind line.
Okay. Let's see if we can get going on it.
All of that's good tight.
Okay, that's for sure, right? We're using a gauge that is a little undersized for what we have for the gauge sockets on the coil, so it just keeps popping out. When it comes down to that, we have a little bit of trouble going on with this all the time. So sorry, this is getting really rocky, but I'm taking my gloves off myself because I'm going to jump in and help out in a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and tag team on this, and we'll switch. Just film down here, and we'll try to show what the problem is. Okay, so this goes in at an angle, and then it has to come around, and every time we put it in, it doesn't stay in far enough, so it wants to pop out. So which makes it a little bit complicated. So we're going to probably end up crashing this video and calling it an end. Okay, hit stop. Okay, dump it. Trash it.